IVM.
Hello and welcome to the Geek podcast where we talk about cool things. Today, are we talking about a cool thing, Tejas?
Most definitely.
It is the coolest thing. I'll tell you why. It's a movie called 2.0.
Yeah.
And as I've mentioned before, to be a movie that is a sequel but doesn't even bother putting the name of the original movie in the title,
That's
that
how
is
powerful.
baller. That's a baller move.
Yes. It's
like-
a move that
yeah.
only a superstar can make.
You mean Superstar Rajnikant?
Yes.
We're,
By the way,
we're
Superstar
contractually obligated to say that.
It's not even Superstar Rajnikant, it's just Superstar Rajni.
Oh, is it?
So you showed up about like 5 minutes late, I'd say, for this movie by the time it started.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't miss anything because the opening credits were like the closing credits of any Marvel film, which is like about as long and as dedicated to the stylization of any cool
course.
credit scene.
Yeah.
Except in the beginning of the film. And about, I want to say 60 to 90 seconds were dedicated to just S, U, P, and then so on and so forth until we spelt out Superstar Rajni. No, can't.
No, can't?
Because there's nothing.
There's nothing he can't do?
Let me not.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You went there. You implied
I
it.
set him up, you just knock him out of the park.
Yeah. I don't know if that was out of the park. That was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
left field. But yes,
yes.
Superstar Rajni then. And
Yes.
again, the superstar is contractually obligated. But yes, the man is a superstar. He's literally India's biggest star.
Yes.
He's Asia's second biggest star behind Jackie Chan.
Really? How are we measuring this in terms of gross, like, box office income?
How much they're paid and how much they make.
How much they paid and how much they
I don't know.
make. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if this is still true. I remember reading this a while back.
I would not be surprised if it held true. Since he's
Yeah,
still
it would
making
be.
movies like Shivaji and...
Shivaji colon the boss.
The Boss, yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Or was it just Shivaji the Boss?
I think it's Shivaji colon the boss.
Not like Fame the Band or
No.
or Cage the Elephant.
No.
Okay,
Is that band name an instruction?
Convention?
Like, yo, that
Cage the
elephant's
elephant?
running away. Cage the elephant.
Yes.
And then someone was like, hey, that's a good band name.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Is
cool.
that a line from Dumbo or something? I don't know.
Cage the elephant?
Yeah. Cage the Elephant.
Maybe. Yeah. Is that what that's a reference to?
No,
Whatever.
no. I'm just saying it could be.
It could be.
It's like how Coldplay has a new name now.
Yeah. What is it? Los Unidades?
Las Unidades,
Oh,
which
right.
apparently is an anagram for unsold ideas, but I doubt that that's the real truth.
That's terrible.
Moving on.
Yes. Moving back to Superstar Rajni. Yes, the second highest star in the
He's definitely
in
high.
the Asias.
Yeah, making this film. 2.0 tells the story of, continues the story actually of, so just disclaimer here, I have not seen the original. Dinkar has
I've
perused
skimmed
it.
through it, yes.
You watched it 1.5x?
No,
something.
I literally skip between
Oh
parts.
my god, did you watch it in 2.0?
I wish.
Speed?
Sometimes I felt like it was playing in 2.0 speed because it's just full of like random zoom-ins and the like, which again is part of the grammar of Rajnikant cinema. Like I was telling you,
I think the
while we were
grammar
watching
is
this movie,
so crucial, and this is a really big part of what we're going to speak about today.
I think that grammar, it's a part and parcel of a Rajni movie. Again,
Yes.
he's been for decades at this point doing movies with a very singular style that has been aped, in fact. It's the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, Salman Khan has turned into
literally stolen
the
that.
Rajnikant of Bollywood.
And he
yes.
became the Rajnikant of Bollywood by copying Mahesh Babu, who was essentially copying Rajnikant from
I see.
Telugu.
A great and illustrious lineage of this kind of filmmaking.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I want to say something that though I hadn't seen this and I mean, we've made enough Rajnikant / Chuck Norris type jokes in the past, and that's because of the type of filmmaking that we're speaking of, which is this over-the-top, really ludicrous kind of, stylized action filmmaking. And I was never a big fan of it. I mean, I saw the humor of it, obviously, like everyone else has, and, the sarcasm that I would have for this, for appreciating this kind of cinema is the most I could have ventured out into, speaking about it. Or that's about it. And even for this film, you know that I had like a lot of reservations only because I really didn't want to waste my time, or I didn't want to contribute to this kind of cinema. This was my original stance. Having said that, and I hadn't seen the first film, so I was even more reluctant to go see this. I did watch this film. I still have a lot of points to make about it, but I have come back with a changed opinion on this, style. Yes.
An opinion 2.0, if you will.
Yes, yes, I have. I may have trashed this type of filmmaking without really experiencing it for what you are speaking of, like this grammar, of just appreciating it for what it is.
What I was saying to you while we were watching the movie is that you kind of have to treat this grammar as its own thing. Like if you're watching an anime movie, or if you're watching like a Bollywood movie from the 90s, or if you're watching like any old Japanese cinema
or
or something.
genre film, like that kind of style.
Exactly. These are trappings of the genre, right? And you don't have to like the genre, but that doesn't necessarily take away from the film. So like if you watch an anime movie right now, like if you watch I don't know, like a Cowboy Bebop or whatever,
or a Batman Ninja, which just happened,
or a Batman Ninja, or like when I used to watch Speed Racer, it used to confuse the shit out of me for the longest time because it'd be like, why is there just like a and then like one bead of sweat hanging in the air? There's always one bead of sweat. Right. Sometimes two if it's like a very crucial scene. And those are conventions that you need to get used to. Now Rajni invented his own convention. Superstar Rajni, invented his own convention, and I think it's fine if he chooses to do that. I was reading this hilarious article on the Rajni phenomenon on Slate, where this where this foreign writer, I mean, he's the second biggest movie star in the world.
Absolutely, cannot be ignored.
You have to talk about him, right? So this writer is trying to explain to, obviously, a primarily Western audience what Rajni means.
What is a Rajni?
What is a Rajni?
How do we define
the way, like
Rajni?
The examples he picks to describe what Rajni is like are just like, they're brilliant. Like he goes like, when Rajni points a finger, there's a whip sound, which is true. He just goes like, he points fingers like, whoosh.
Yeah, exactly.
He's pointing a finger.
He's done everything, man. Like,
or like in Robot, where he's like, his pronouncements are met with cheers. For example, when he randomly shouts dot to signify the end of a sentence.
It's just like,
which is his catchphrase.
It's his catchphrase.
He's like, full stop, but
no, dot.
He points a finger and goes like, dot.
Yeah.
Like, done.
With some reverb and delay on that.
Exactly. That's another thing he mentions. Like, his big lines have like echo and reverb on them. It's like there's one particular movie, I think it might have been Shivaji the Boss, where he comes in, like, kicks a goon who flies into a car window, then out the other side, and the main villain says, "Who are you?" And he's like, Rajni goes into a 4-minute dance sequence where he changes setting 3 times and turns into a baby at the end.
What?
Yeah, at the end of which the villagers all start applauding.
Oh my God.
And he still doesn't answer the question, "Who are you?"
I mean, I felt like that was self-explanatory after that kind of...
Exactly, but this is the cinema is created, and I think that's fine. There was this, a cousin of mine, like years, I think around the time of Baba, which was like a long time ago, had just moved to the US, and her and a bunch of friends of hers, and basically a bunch of friends of hers and maybe a couple of their American friends, all took a trip across state lines to like one Texas theater, I think, that was screening Baba in Tamil, just to like appreciate it. And apparently it was a festival. It was full of like Americans and like locals and a lot of like the Tamil populace, obviously, like partying like it was a theater in South India.
Partying like it's 2018.
Yeah, and there were cops. There were cops there because there was like such a crowd. They were just there to like regulate. It wasn't like a big deal or anything, but they were just around for like crowd control in case needed and that kind of thing. So apparently like the cops are also in the thing watching the movie, and they go like, "I don't know who this guy is, but he kicks ass."
I think people, like, I don't know what it is, but like we've always had that problem. Like, when you hire the, so to speak, best VFX artists in the world and the best stuntmen and everything, and you hire the same like groups of people who have made films like, any of the big, American tentpole films like the Avengers films or anything like that. And you get them to come to India and you ask them to do the same thing. And then we still get movies like 2.0 and Robot.
This now has to be addressed. So, okay, wait. Let's put this qualifier down. We are willing to discount the grammar of a Rajni movie, right? Let's treat this movie on its own merits. It was always going to be a Rajni movie. Does it...
What does that mean then? How much do you excuse in terms of storytelling or in terms of just like dialogue? Like what can you forgive and what can't you, just because we have to
I think that's what we need to get into. So like let's talk about the VFX for starters, because that obviously is like a big...
Do you want to give people like a rough story kind of premise?
Wow. Okay. Cool.
There's not much. There's not. Okay. Let me put it this
Dr.
way.
Vasiguran,
There's
played
nothing
by
much to this
Rajnikant.
movie. Yeah.
Let's start from 1.0.
Okay. You do that. Previously. On Robot.
So, Superstar Rajni plays Dr. Vasiguran, who creates a humanoid android robot called Chitti. Pronounced Chitti, I guess.
Chitti.
Anyway, he invents Chitti, which...
You mean Chitti?
Chitti. He invents Chitti, who's a good robot, who is corrupted by Dr. Bora, played by Danny Denzongpa.
Who is this guy's father in this film, right?
In this film, yes.
We'll get to it. So this is my own IMDb trivia. Sorry.
So he is I'm summing this up super quickly, but he gets corrupted by Danny Denzongpa, who is evil scientist Dr. Bora,
right,
and turns into a second evil Chitti. Then evil Chitti fights good Chitti or something like that, and the N is basically Chitti replicating himself times infinity and fighting giant clusters of himself.
Right.
So there were 2 Chittis and 1 Dr. Vasiguran in the original movie. Are you keeping count?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
I know precisely why, though. That's why.
One is good Chitti, black hair, clean shaven. Okay?
Yeah.
Slightly chubby, double chin.
Yeah, sorry. Also, this is the first ever robot that has a double chin.
Listen, man, he created him in his image.
Image, of course. That's what God does, doesn't he? Go ahead.
Evil Chitti has like a skunk stripe kind of thing, like a patch of red or something, and he wears sunglasses.
And
oh, no, wait, both of them wear sunglasses.
No, hit me, dog. No, they have different types of sunglasses, by the way. Just so, you know
Correct.
what? So, good Chitti has... Rocksteady and Bebop style sunglasses.
Exactly. And Evil
Bad
Chitti has wraparounds?
has Mission Impossible 2 Tom Cruise what do you call it, sunglasses.
Exactly.
There you go.
This was 1.0. Now 2.0.
Once again, so question.
At the end, at the end of Robot, they decommission Chitti.
Correct. And 2.0, and he's sent to the AIRD, which is the Artificial Intelligence Research and Development Center, yeah?
Yes, correct.
Also, another thing, 2.0 is Evil Chitti.
Yes.
Cool.
So this is a story of Evil Chitti. Oh, it's the numbering is complicated. Basically,
it's really simple, guys.
The movie is not named after one of the Chittis. It's just 2.0.
Which means the whole... No, I'll tell you why. Because there is a scene where 2.0, the reference to that is made. So
correct, yes, that's true.
Which we shall get to.
It's a little complicated. But basically, you know how they say sometimes this guest needs no introduction? This movie needs no introduction.
Correct.
Which movie is it? Second one. Done.
Oh,
I'm coming.
You mean Rajni, Superstar Rajni?
Obviously.
Correct, yeah.
So, in 2.0, the movie...
it feels like Rajni kind of took a page out of what George R.R. Martin said, where he said that I hate it when superheroes and supervillains have the exact same powers.
Yeah.
And, they keep fighting, and we don't want to see the same. We want to see different powers interact with each other. And so in this movie, there is a true villain with a different power.
Ooh, yes. This villain is... at the start of this movie, Dr. Vasiguran has created a new artificial intelligence robot called Nila. A lady played by Amy Jackson.
Right, and Nila stands for Nice, Intelligent, Lovely Assistant.
Of course.
I could have made that up, but it is true.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely accurate. He's made a new robot. I will also say this. Dr. Vasiguran and Nila, pretty good characters.
Well, how is Nila a good character?
I thought she was well written out.
As a robot?
As a robot.
Yeah.
Yes, she has a personality trait. She has her little pop culture references. She's a legit character.
She mostly seemed like...
She's helpful in the film, unlike every other nice, intelligent, lovely assistant. She's actually quite
she's the
instrumental.
only useful one, right?
She's very instrumental.
Dr. Vasiguran, I know, he's clearly the most fleshed out character, but he's a bit of a dick.
He's not a dick. Why is he a dick?
Well, okay, at one point...
2.0 is a dick.
2.0 is a total dick. But he's the classic anti-hero.
He's like
that's his
give
character.
Me a good reference for someone like 2.0. Evil Chitti, as in.
Loki.
Yeah.
He's a Loki.
Boom. Nail
1.0 is
head.
the Thor.
Yeah. 1.0 is a Thor. He's actually a bit of a dud. He's actually the weakest character.
Yeah, that's why he's Thor in the first Thor movie.
Yeah, he's boring.
Straight-laced, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, it's true.
But then Loki turns up and people are like, woo.
Yeah, agreed. Alright, story.
Yeah.
So Nila is a thing.
Nila is a thing. Chitti is decommissioned. Suddenly, a new threat arises when all of the phones all over the Chennai. Not the world. This is a purely localized to Chennai
It's a
phenomenon.
and dude, Chennai is one of the biggest cities in the world.
Yes.
Purely by numbers.
Correct.
And but also historical importance. Chennai has been
fairly
a port for
geographically big also.
Yeah,
but basically, Chennai and Greater Chennai area, all the phones are literally flying out of people's hands and disappearing.
This is magical, alright? The first half of the film deals with all these phones suddenly taking off into midair and just flying out into the atmosphere away from their owners. And we see a bunch of scenes of where people in large groups, which I thought was quite impressive, that all these extras are all acting together. So that means it must have been quite an operation. They did really well in like showing that. And I will say this, the phones that, whatever happens is basically the phones start to become sentient. And they become like a Megazord type. They basically kind of become what do you call those
swarm.
things? No, but there's a word for it, right? When there's like a hive mind, something like that.
Like a hive mind.
Swarm, precisely. So they become like a hive mind and start making different shapes and start attacking select individuals in the story, and we don't know why. I will say this. The VFX, though, we have
we know why, right from the start. Like, clearly, so the phones disappear, turn into a hive mind. No, but clearly they're guys who support mobile phones, right? Like, the people attacked are the telecom minister,
but we don't know.
Mobile phone dealer.
Yeah, but I mean, even if they're just doing their job, right? So why particularly would they be attacked? It's like
that comes up.
So that obviously,
later.
and that's the entire agenda of the villain. But I thought that and the way they execute these so to speak telecom villains is quite ingenious. There are a few scenes where the phones themselves kind of become the surroundings, and they portray like
they become a room of lights.
Yeah, and I just want to say the VFX in those scenes are pretty
That's
good.
Spectacular.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Yeah.
Actually, you can tell here and there, but the fact that it moves really like well, and I don't know what they've done, but it was quite impressive. And it's a weird thing because mobile phones, in no stretch of the imagination, by no amount of exposition or dialogue or anything that you can say scientifically, can take off and move into the air, unless it's a big magnet. But in no occasion that this is plausible fictionally.
I know, because
However,
that's a speech Dr. Vasigran gave in the movie.
Correct. However, it's a pretty novel idea. I will say that. I thought it was quite...
That the phones turn into a sentient hive mind swarm.
It's quite cool, actually.
It is very cool.
Because they've used it like really interestingly, like design-wise, like how they show, the villain the first time, Pakshi Raj, whatever.
Yeah.
Like how they kind of assemble into these little, structures and stuff.
Yeah.
Really cool, man.
Very well done.
I enjoyed it.
So, okay, cool. I'll tell you what, let's take a break. We'll come back and I'll discuss...
You mean we'll wait for 15 minutes to load, like the intermission of this film?
Correct.
The intermission of this film has what do you call it? A buffering sign.
Says, buffering wheel turns up
and it says 15 minutes to load, and literally it took 23.
Correct. We will take
30, 40, 50 seconds.
40 seconds to load and come back with more of the story, including the villain, and more discussion on the VFX. After this, dot.
Hello. Welcome to another great week on IVM Podcast. If you aren't following us on social media, please make sure you do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We have some really interesting content coming up on Instagram. Make sure that you check it out. This week, we're launching a new show, The Habit Coach with Ashton Doctor. Ashton talks about small habits that will make your life easy. He talks about health, fitness, de-stressing, meditation, and finance. So join every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday starting the 10th of December. On Cyrus Says, Cyrus is joined by iconic journalist Bachi Karkaria. She speaks about her storied career and gives us a detailed glimpse of these sessions at the upcoming Times Lit Fest. On the second episode of the Paperback Podcast, Satyajit and Racheta talk to author Raj Raman. He talks in depth about his book, The Smelting Cauldron, and recommends 4 more books that inspired him. On Geek Fruit, Tejas and Dinkar delve into the phenomena that is Superstar Rajni's 2.0 and try to figure out if it lives up to the insane hype behind it. On Vartalab, Akash and Naveen are joined by comic and improv artist Jia Sethi. They talk about making the comedy scene safer and more welcoming for new comics. Last week on Football Twaddle, Saru and Barur were joined by a special guest, former Indian midfielder Stephen Dias. He shed some light about halftime team talks, his career, and the current state of Indian and Mumbai football. And with that, let's move on to your shows.
Dot. We are back here. That's like 2 dots, like an ellipses, because we didn't actually end the episode. Oh, dot. Again. 3 dots.
No, but you have to do it in succession, otherwise it's
dot. You can't do it as well. I mean, then like it needs that finality.
Right.
If you do it like Superstar Rajni style. But let's get to the villain of this movie. A gentleman called Akshay Kumar playing Pakshi Rajan.
Yeah.
So he is okay. I'll just like cut to the chase. He's
we had a long origin story post interval.
Yeah, like post so the swarm basically starts to take the shape of a giant bird. So it's a giant bird made of millions, I suppose, of mobile phones. And eventually, after doing this a couple of times, and I also like the way they tease it, like you don't see the bird at first. You just see like shadows of the bird and things attacking. At a lot of the times, you only see the mobile phones acting almost like individual units.
Yeah.
But then at one point, the bird is revealed. So it's like a kaiju style guy.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Like, because when you like really look closely, you can see that they're all individual phones.
Yeah.
And some of them are cracked, some of them are like, it was cool.
Yeah.
I dug it.
Some of them are Apple, some of them are Androids.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's a good mix.
Good to see them all working together.
Exactly. And then eventually it starts taking a humanoid form that looks a lot like Akshay Kumar. But with
lots of makeup.
With lots of makeup and very avian eyebrows. Like his eyebrows are like claws more than feathers.
Tell me this. Who decided this look for him? How did this happen?
It must have taken a long time because...
I'm not talking about in the real life. I'm talking about in the story of the film.
Who decided Pakshi Rajan's look?
Yeah, because so the origin story is that he was a doctor whose name is Dr. Pakshi Rajan, by the way.
Yes.
It's not this is a Doc Ock situation.
Yeah.
His name is Dr. Ock. So his name is Dr. Pakshi Rajan, and he is very upset that everybody is not listening to him about the phones, which are killing birds.
He loves birds.
Because birds
saved his life. Quite literally. He was a stillborn child. Then in a hospital with the worst hygiene I've ever seen, a sparrow flies through the window and just starts tapping a dead newborn kid.
Sparrow gives baby Akshay Kumar CPR.
Yes, this is grotesque, by the way, but literally so many close-up shots of a dead
it's a beak, dog, and it's like sensitive skin. That shit. That's not how you resuscitate someone.
There's a dead baby
and
on the screen.
Yeah.
A random bird flies in and starts pecking at it. And no one gives a shit in this terrible hospital.
Okay,
but the kid comes to life. And that was Dr. Pakshi Rajan.
If I may, Batman Returns 1995. Selena Kyle is pushed out the window by Christopher Walken, Max Schreck, who he plays. And because she is in on a secret, she pushes out the window. And then she falls to the ground for like about 7 stories. And then a bunch of cats come and bite her and lick her.
Yeah.
And she's resuscitated. So...
Alleyway, though.
Yeah, sure. But how did she come back to life?
But that I'm willing to give up on.
That? You're willing to give up
It's
on?
fine. She became a Catwoman's. It happens.
He became a Pakshi Raj.
Yeah, but I just find it weird that, there are cats in alleys. There aren't birds swooping into hospitals willy-nilly.
Well, his name is Dr. Pakshi Rajan. That's not his first name. That's his last name. So... his mother was Mrs. Pakshi
He's
Rajan.
Dr. P. Rajan.
Are you serious?
Pakshi Rajan. His name's not Pakshi Rajan.
It's Pakshi Rajan.
Yeah.
It's Pakshi Rajan MD, like House MD.
First name Pakshi, last name Rajan.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So wait, that means Mrs. Rajan saw this...
Mrs. Rajan, a perfectly plausible name. She saw...
Correct. I have a friend, Karthik Rajan.
Correct. So, Mrs. Rajan...
And his brother, Pakshi. Yeah.
Mrs. Rajan saw her stillborn child's life saved by a bird, and she went like, I should name him after a bird. Pakshi.
That solves few issues, but yeah, still.
Actually,
right.
Yeah, so whatever. I'm okay with the logic of this. I have problems with the grotesque display of a dead fetus. Chill out. This
also,
is supposed
that
to be
fetus looked really not like a real baby.
Well, yeah. This brings me to what I was going to say about the VFX. You can take the best VFX companies in the world, which this movie did, and still screw it up because of design and vision things.
I have a theory for it. No, the VFX supervisor is the same people, right? It's like, in all probability,
but it's practicality, right?
I'll tell you why,
how do you use them?
What's the difference between taking like an American company and an Indian company doing the same thing, right? Because all the main legwork, all the, sweatshop of the animation industry is in India, right? So those people have been doing that anyway. It's the VFX supervisors, the design leads that come from abroad who have been doing this for years and been doing it on a much bigger capacity.
Yeah.
I think that they had a budget. What is the budget of this film, by the way? Because it's important. They had this budget.
Most expensive Indian movie ever. Which
is what? Like comparatively to an Iron Man or something like that.
I will compare and we will.
Yeah. So let's do this because I think
minutes.
What they said is let's do more and let's kind of cut the quality by like 50%. That's why even like simple things like running and jumping and stuff like that looks a little weird. Some of the shots look okay, but most of it looks pretty bizarre. And I think it's because they just said, ye chalega types. It's not like they were really looking for that absolute realism, because like you said, it leaves room for this convention of this kind of cinema where it's supposed to look a little over the top. It's supposed to look a little by design, weird and like just bizarre. I think that's why it probably is this way and not like Hollywood standards, so to speak.
I have an alternative theory, which is that the problem is not just of budgets. Like, budget is not really an issue for this movie. Are you aware that this is one of only 3 movies in the world that is being shot in 3D? It was shot in 3D. It wasn't post-converted.
Yeah, no, movies are shot in stereoscopic.
No.
3D.
There are only 3 movies in 2018 that were shot in 3D.
Which ones?
A Russian movie of some sort, some James Cameron produced movie whose name I forget, and Robot 2.0, or sorry, just 2.0.
Yeah.
The only ones that could afford it or cared. By the way, the 3D was still shoddy. You probably care, yeah.
Yeah. Because most people have been doing post-conversion because people have gotten better at it now.
My theory, yeah, exactly. And post-conversion does a okay job. My theory is that the problem is when you take VFX but use them impractically. Like, for example, like one of the best examples I can find is you can't create photorealistic stuff. You can create stuff that lives well in its own world. But for example, in shots where Dr. Pakshi Rajan, Akshay Kumar, he has like a little sparrowy type thing on his finger and a toucan, like an exotic African bird comes and settles on his shoulder. The toucan is VFX and the sparrow on his finger is real. So obviously the VFX looks like shit because I can compare them. They're literally like 5 meters away from each other.
I will say this, I don't think you can't make photorealistic. We do it all the time in video games and
stuff, when it's
man.
Right, but when it's right next to a real thing, there is a difference.
I think there's precedent for it to be absolutely real. If you take any video game now, sometimes I just glance at them when I'm walking through the room and like my flatmates are playing. Sometimes it looks like they're watching a show or something, like Mafia. Not Mafia, but like recently Spider-Man.
But you're looking at it only in that context, right? They're just like an Avengers Infinity War.
Or you take look at
Thanos. Infinity War.
Okay, take Thanos.
Photoreal. Yes, photoreal for the most part. But there are like distinct sections, like the part where he gets the stone and wakes up in that like little lake on the planet.
Spoilers, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. You should have seen Infinity War by now, man. Looks very odd. Like, it's entirely possible to mess up those. I'm not saying it's impossible, actually, my bad, but it's definitely way, way harder when you have something real to compare it to. Like in the first Avengers, the second Avengers, when Vision is born, there are distinct shots where you can see like a completely CGI Vision as opposed to a Paul Bettany in makeup. Because when you cut between the two, it will look odd unless you like put in all your time and effort to that, which this doesn't.
Yeah, this has not done that. That's about it.
And part of the effect they're going for is over-the-top, unrealistic action, which when you translate it into realistic VFX doesn't always work. So if it's like a giant ball composed purely of Rajnikant robots that is rolling across a football stadium, shooting guns in 360 degrees.
This is all a real scene, by the way.
This is actually what happens. There's no way to make that look realistic because it's not a realistic situation. There's no physics in the real world that can apply to. So if you hire like freaking Legacy Effects or ILM or whoever and say, I want a giant ball of my aging actor rolling around in a football stadium, shooting machine guns, they'll make it. But it's not going to look good.
I will say this though, they did that for like the Matrix, like way back with the Burly Brawl and having so many Agent Smiths and stuff, and that still looked like pretty awesome, man. Like it looked fine. We knew it was like VFX.
The way it's staged and stuff, right?
The way it was staged was 100%.
So like it's a lot to do with the director. This is the same reason I think like Avatar, for all it was talked about as having great VFX and stuff, the day I saw it, at which point it was supposed to be cutting edge, I was like, this looks like shit.
Oh really?
I didn't like it at all because I just thought like the character
was quite impressive. At least in the beginning. When I saw it the first
really
time
didn't.
and the last time, the first time I saw it was the only time I saw it. I went and I saw the movie in 3D and I was like, yeah, it's pretty realistic. I mean, like, it's pretty impressive in terms of what they've accomplished, because I hadn't seen that good graphics till that date, because the 2000s was that awkward period. Like, it's like what the 90s was for music, right?
Yeah.
We had all these tools, we just didn't know how to use them. And like what they've been saying about animation and VFX is that we have had the same tools from the beginning till now. The difference is that the artists have become better. Like, the people using them have learned how to use them well and how to kind of manipulate
The tools
it.
have also become better.
Yeah, but marginally. I mean, they're still using all the same things, right? They're only using like polygons. The only thing is that they've now maximized the number of pixels that they're going to add, or, you know, things like that. I don't know. I'm not an animation expert.
They've sped up render times and stuff.
Yeah, things like that. And this is what I've read about, where they honestly speak about how artists and the animators have really come to terms with how to use the software better and more, basically make it look real, like the way they light characters or the way they kind of, you know, the colors that they use, etc., things like that. So that's really what's the difference. Here, I don't think that's not like a priority for
That's
these
not the
guys.
priority. So in a lot of ways, the VFX here is like scale over necessarily quality, right? Like, if like for example, a Pixar will study rats for months at a time just to figure out how to animate a Ratatouille character, right? As opposed to here, where there's no real world reference.
Yeah, it's true.
That they can go off of.
We can't get Rajnikant to duplicate himself and fire machine guns and turn into a big tetrahead.
Exactly. And again, I'm fine with that. Toss the real world physics out of the window and come up with cool stuff. This is, by the way, director Shankar, his magnum opus. This dude has always been doing like weird stuff visually. I think one of his first movies was Gentleman. Right, with Chikabuku Riley and stuff.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember the video for that song from my young days, because there's this entire sequence where 2D animations crop up on the screen, and Prabhudeva starts crying, and giant 2D tears start like falling out of his eyes.
Right.
Like, visually very inventive for
Visionary.
that time. You see that in like music videos from 2 years ago and stuff, and you're like, whoa, pretty cool. This dude was doing it in like 1992 or something, when it wasn't even a thing. Yeah. When something like Who Framed Roger Rabbit was revolutionary, this guy was like already ahead. So he can do cool stuff, and he's always been doing weird stuff visually.
Yeah.
But in that case, it worked. In this case, it kind of falls into a phantom zone.
Yeah.
It's not purely a budget issue. Now that I have spent the past 6 minutes writing down numbers and figuring out how to read them,
okay,
because there's a lot of like conversions involved, but I've done the math. The budget of Avengers 2 was 155 crore.
Crores?
Yes, rupees. Okay. I've converted everything to rupees.
Oh, I wish you did the other way around, but good.
It doesn't matter.
Metric system.
I will give you a multiplier, no?
Okay.
The 155 crore rupees, Robert 2.0 cost 543 crores.
Holy shit.
So roughly 4 times the budget of a Marvel movie.
Whoops. All right.
So it's not a budget issue. It's a vision issue.
What the hell did they spend it on?
On everything. There's like 3,000 something VFX shots in this movie, apparently.
Unless Marvel is like the DIY of their scene over there. It's just like indie scene over there. It's like, bhai, karna, bhai.
This is
Avengers banana. Now this is like a foreign client, so they're just like, okay, cool, we charge full rate now.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, cool. Okay, let's take a break and come back and talk about the actual movie.
Yes.
All right.
Hi, my name is Abbas. I'm a producer at IVM, and I, along with other staff members of IVM, we do this show called IVM Likes, where we give recommendations of books, movies, music, TV shows that we've seen. We've even recommended video games and YouTube channels. And we are soon reaching our 100th episode. We are on episode 99 right now. And on the 100th episode, we'd love to hear from you. So send us your messages, voice notes, goodwill, all of it on shows@indusvox.com, and we will read out your messages on the 100th episode of IVM Likes. Tell us about the recommendations we've given you that you've enjoyed. Tell us about the episodes that you remember. Tell us about the conversations that you've enjoyed, and we will read all of it out on the 100th episode. Send your messages on shows@indusvox.com, and do tune into the 100th episode of IVM Likes out next week.
Welcome back. We are talking about 2.0. So we went over this whole VFX situation because a lot of the people talk about what a visual spectacle this movie is.
Yeah.
And how it's like stunning and how India has arrived on the
yes,
VFX
it's
scene.
a visual spectacle. Like the Statue of Unity is a visual spectacle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna see nothing like it anywhere else. But
Yes.
is that a good thing?
Correct.
I don't know. What could that money have gone to?
So I have a question.
And I'm
Let me-
talking about both the statue and 2.0 here.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the statue. All right. Let me put it this way. Imagine that this movie had perfectly good special effects.
It does.
No. I'm talking about what if it satisfied all our little, things where it has to be like cool and realistic. So I'm saying just take that into consideration that the movie has like really awesome visual effects. Now, if you take that now and just analyze the story, is it a good film? That's what I want to ask. Because, the things that we like to say are part of the convention and everything of these kinds of films is that, it has over-the-top action. So now exclude that from the conversation about whether this is a...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Excluded. So we've accounted for the grammar of it and we've accounted for the VFX. Some things are a given.
Yeah.
Let's deal with the story now. I think there was potential here. I think Pakshi Rajan and his agenda are pretty legit.
I see now why Akshay Kumar did this film, right? He always has a social cause and things like
Correct.
that. Is this a thing, by the way?
For
Are
Akshay
birds-
Kumar?
No, not for Akshay Kumar. Of course, we know that. But are birds dying because of cell phone towers, like in a big way in India, particularly
They're not,
right now?
I don't know if they're dying in the masses that this movie portrays, there is literally a scene at one point where Akshay Kumar runs into a field and is surrounded by little dots, which are all graves of tiny birds,
Which
I
is
guess.
their idea.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
And he just
I've never read
falls to
anything
his
about it.
knees and then hugs the ground. Surrounded surrounded by bird graves.
Bird graves. Like
Bird graves sounds like
great name.
a British,
great
a Sherlock
60s
villain.
reporter. Bird graves, yeah. See, Anyway, but you know what this felt like? It felt like that Black Mirror episode about the bees, where all these bees are dying and somebody wants to take it. Because I have heard about the bee population becoming
For
a
similar
situation.
reasons, essentially,
Exactly.
like cell phone towers confuse their internal navigation systems.
Correct.
Which Akshay Kumar, right after the interval, Chitty asks him, yo, what's up with you? Why are you doing this, Dr. Pakshi Rajan? And he just goes into a flashback, inside which there's a second flashback, which shows his origin story.
Yeah.
Then he comes back to current flashback and gives a nice TED talk on how birds are dying.
Correct.
Which
Literally a
is-
TED talk, yeah.
Quite literally a TED talk where all of this stuff is explained. So parts of it sciencey, parts of it pseudo-sciencey.
What do you think of that as a motivation for the villain?
Legit, I think.
I also
Again, it's conveyed in a bit of an over-dramatic fashion.
Super over. Everything is over dramatic. But in terms of
Fine.
just like what the villain's cause is, like your villain has to have a pretty good reason to be an asshole, right?
I get it. I think he was fine.
I think it was pretty. It was novel. I've not heard of it yet.
Yeah,
and we see a
exactly.
lot of superhero films.
And his origin is actually, other than the fact that it's a little melodramatic, is quite legit. You can see his frustration building because we see that the guys who get killed in the first half of the movie were all people Pakshi Rajan had approached to try and
who were
help
being
the situation.
dicks to him.
Who were being dicks to him for no reason. Again, melodramatic, but that is the convention of this kind of movie, right? So like when he goes to the minister's like, then what we will do with this? Fine, acceptable. I actually thought that was pretty good. Pakshi Rajan's arc is solid.
I think it's pretty solid. My only I was just a little surprised when he uses the very things like the cell phones. Like, how did he get okay, now here's the thing. This is the part which kind of is divisive for me. It's like, how much of a leap of imagination am I, going to take when we figure out how Pakshi Rajan, who basically hangs himself in the beginning of the movie, comes back to life to rain terror upon these very individuals and the rest of the city.
That's where the pseudoscience comes in it?
Yeah. So
there's
that's
this whole
a
thing
bit
about
weird.
how...
because I didn't know how he came about and how they destroyed him. Like, they said something about when people die, there is negative energy.
Yes.
Apparently. And he had a lot of it. And his energy combined with the cell phone tower and the birds have got him back to life. Is that why he can get into
I don't think he
phones?
combined with the birds, but because he died on a cell phone tower and he was a being of strong negative energy and there's like alien things in there somehow, he turned into a villain. It's okay. I'm willing to let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, even the way they fight him, literally they say like there's positive auras of people and negative auras.
That's
and
cool.
so the
I
only
get
way
that.
to fight the negative aura, which is Akshay Kumar's Pakshi Rajan is to shoot giant beams of positive energy at him.
Cool. That's fine. That checks out.
Microphotons, which is you took a massless light particle and said, "Uska micro banate hai."
And exactly. Microphotons. Like, how small did you need them to be? Besides, I'm actually okay. That checks out for me
because can find particles smaller than photons.
This is a joke.
Correct.
My thing is, I feel like they could have come up with a better way that he converted himself into this villain. They could have done a Dr. Octavius kind of story or something,
They approach it, they don't delve into it enough.
Yeah, it's weird, man. He could have been a vulture type guy, right? Because he's denounced by society. Everybody hates him. He's condemned.
Correct.
He says, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Except how does he control cell phones?
That you'll have to let go. There's
I
no
hate
like
letting go of that kind of stuff.
How pseudo-scientific-y of an explanation would help?
Yeah, something. So, I don't know, man. Come on, dude.
Fine, sure.
If you can make
having
four
listen to his
arms,
TED Talk or what?
I heard it fine. My thing is, how does he come back from the dead and just do that? And that's not a spoiler. That's just like in the beginning of the film.
My props is actually
that was my issue
stronger,
with this film.
which is, I will live with an unexplained origin, right? How you defeat him is more of a problem to me, which is basically, you just keep firing at him with machine guns?
Is that how they kill him?
Essentially, sure, they... Eventually, they completely destroy him with the beams of positive microphoton energy.
That's how they do it.
But for a long time...
You're forgetting it. It's 3.0.
Correct. So 3.0 is... 3.0. Oh my god.
Are we getting to spoiler territory?
Yeah. Full spoilers.
Let's do it.
3.0 is a robot invented by 2.0.
No, invented by 2.0 or by Nila?
I don't know. No, Nila asked him what it was. So at one point, Vasigran is incapacitated because his body has been taken over by Pakshi Rajan.
Again, something I don't understand how that was possible.
I don't get that either. Let it go. 1.0 is
fair.
dead. 1.0 has been destroyed by Pakshi Rajan. By Pakshi Rajan, who has taken over Vasigran's body. So everyone's incapacitated except 2.0. 2.0 gets to work along with Nila, putting together an army of 2.0s to go and defeat Pakshi Rajan.
The anti-chitty.
The anti-chitty, yes.
Yeah.
And during this, he shows Nila a tiny little action figure. And Nila goes like, "What is this?" And
he goes, "Ha ha, mini-me."
No, he says, "Ha, it's me." And she goes like, "Huh? Mini-me." Like that clarifies anything. Yeah. And then it turns into a phone.
It's a transformer.
And that's left at that. This is called back to in the climax when army of mini 3.0s.
Very Ant-Man-like.
Invade the climactic sequence.
Stadium,
And they basically Trojan horse Pakshi Rajan by turning into mobile phones and then just jumping onto him.
Yeah, basically, becoming part of his system. It's like a virus-y kind of thing.
Correct.
And like blowing him up. They use explosive device. They would think of using microphotons, but in the end, good old-fashioned TNT.
Blow it up. Shoot it with machine guns and bomb it. They do this until eventually they drag him to a place where they shoot him with microphoton rays. But why did they even need to turn into phones to explode in the first place? Just jump into him and explode, no?
Just so that he could be assimilated, because the thing is that he couldn't, he was collecting every phone in the city. That's how he was amassing his power.
Correct.
That makes sense. See, that makes sense,
okay,
Dinkar.
fine. I'll give you that.
This is my problem with this film in few ways. That I wish they're going for this really outrageous kind of thing. At least find a way to make it legit.
Exactly. Yeah, that internal logic fails on various fronts.
Fully.
Pakshi's origin, which maybe I can let go and you can't. Pakshi's death, which neither of us can let go. The idea of cramming in more Rajnis is basically the goal here, which is you get in Rajni playing Dr. Vasigran, who's like, "Dot," and then you get him to play Chitti, who's like, "Yes, this is my objective." And then you get him to play 2.0, who's like an evil anti-hero guy who's like, "Haha, this is my objective."
Yeah.
And then you have 3.0, who's like a mischievous little guy. So you're basically getting him to do 4 variations of the various popular characters he's had over the year. And that's the only reason you have these. There's no plot behind it.
Man, there needs to be a Super Smash Brothers game made of just Rajni characters.
That would be cool.
A Street Fighter-ish kind of game.
I might play that game, but it wouldn't have much of a story, and neither does this movie.
I would play the shit out of that game. Anyway, point is, Yeah, man. Weird ending. The first hour of this film is not bad, actually, at all.
It's not bad.
Until then, everything kind of checks out. Even the thing I'll excuse is the cell phones taking off in the midair. Because I thought that whatever they did with it, design-wise, was quite innovative.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I really liked that. But because I haven't seen that ever in another type of film. So I like that, and everything else from there kind of starts to dip. I actually even enjoy the little interplay between the characters, between Nila and Dr. Vasigran and this bad guy.
That I had some problems.
I was okay with it, man. I was like, chalo, it's fine, dude. It's all good. It's all part of the superhero convention, like where she has to go and break this guy out of the museum, or, get that chip. And when, he says, you have to activate 2.0, and he gets kidnapped and stuff, and then she goes and does it. That's cool, man. I dug all of that. That's all fine with me. It's just that when they get a little lazy when it comes to just the storytelling, they're just like, chalo, it's fine. I get it. It's a Rajnikant movie. This is where I can't excuse the convention of this film. I appreciate the over-the-topness of Rajnikant action and stunts and everything like that. I'm willing to just watch and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
But then when you get lazy about the screenplay, which is still important to few people watching films, right? Like, you can't excuse everything. You can't just say, just because the action is over the top, anything is excusable, because it has to be coherent.
Story still has to make sense.
Yeah, it has to be coherent.
You can still do all the Rajni fan service you want, all the over-top action you want, all like the dot that you want.
With a good story.
Yeah, why would you skimp on that?
I don't know.
That is my first issue with it. My second issue is like a bunch of smaller stuff, which is, what is this movie trying to be? Like, at the end of the day,
what was the theme of this film? Apart from the themes of this film were pretty loose. I mean, is it a stretch for me to ask for? Is it a
moral science story? Is it meant for kids? Is it meant for adults?
It seemed like a moral science kind of thing, because at the end he says, it seemed like a lecture about cell phones. Like, when I felt it could have gone deeper.
It feels like it just morphs into that at the end, where I have some strong suspicions about the fact that repeatedly they go into this whole thing about, like, there should be fewer cell phone networks. What is this? Like, all just a scam by
Geo. Yes, you're right. It is. It felt like that.
Geo's amazing.
No, it sucks. Like our government. All right. Anyway, my point is that I just feel like, I don't know about...
What are your thoughts on Geo Savan?
On this hidden agenda? I'm a Geo member. It's fine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I have no choice.
Yeah, because we need to cut down on the cell phone networks, man. Do you think this entire movie is just propaganda by Jio?
Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe not, because I don't think they have a very strong presence in the South.
At one point, like, I don't know, like, maybe this is their game plan then. First of all, they don't need to worry about that.
My God, if they got Rajni on their side, we're all fucked.
We're screwed.
Yeah. Just to kind of end, I wish the themes ran a little deeper in this film. Like, you know what could have been really nice? Where the theme of, like, this Pakshi Rajan not being taken seriously when we should be considering. So maybe they could have said that, the evil chitty is the one who saves the day in the end. So maybe the movie could have been about how you need to look past a few things or look deeper for a deeper kind of meaning in something. Like, they could have strung some kind of narrative together where it kind of uses this evil chitty. Why is evil chitty the hero in this? Like, explain that to me. Why isn't good chitty the hero? Because he has more personality? Like, I don't get it.
Because Good Chitty was the hero in the first one. This time you're like, chalo, let Rajni have more fun.
So that's not enough, right, for me?
It's not. Of course
it's not.
It's not.
It's definitely not. It's good maybe for people who just want to go and throw their money at the, this kind of films. But, like, for me...
That's the problem. They're taking the audience for granted.
Yeah, they are taking everyone for granted. And here's the problem. Everybody eats this shit up.
Everybody took it for, like, everybody was like, yes.
It's cool.
I'm granting you my money.
And this is why this is going to cost 540 crores. Holy shit. I'm okay with this film
Made
being
it back
a film.
already.
Yeah, I'm okay with the film existing. I have no problem with it. I think they need to just stop being lazy now.
I think when you have this kind of power, when you're Rajni,
you have a responsibility.
When you're Superstar Rajni and when you're Shankar, you can do better.
You can do so
So why
much
not
better.
choose to better instead of not giving a shit? Like,
a lot of people hate Three Idiots, okay, this movie that Amir Khan did. I think it's fucking great, dude. Like, it was a good film because, like, it had, like, a plot and it had, like, a legit, like, dialogues and there were setups and payoffs and everything was there in that film.
Exactly.
And it had a good theme as well. So why is it... And it was
and
the
it
biggest
seems like
film
there
ever.
was some care beyond we need a vehicle for Amir Khan, right?
Precisely. Now, my thing is, like, why can't you just
Amir
make this
Khan's
kind of
literally
film?
made, like, the biggest movies India's ever done at this point. Like, Three Idiots, Dangal, which is still, like, the biggest movie ever.
Yeah.
Secret Superstar, which is...
Don't know much about that because I've not seen it.
It's about like YouTubing and stuff. It's a whole thing. But yeah.
This is my point. I'm saying like, and I know Aamir Khan is a bit of a dumbass also. Like he does like this whole one for you, one for me kind of thing.
But he cares.
But I don't know
about the movie.
About the movie. Let's not say the audience. But I think he cares about making
about the
good
movie, right?
some kind of semblance of a film. 3 Idiots is a perfectly good example of a film which has a plot and a screenplay which has been written, not like probably done on the fly. I'm not saying that that's the type of film that doesn't work, because Mission Impossible, the entire series, has been done on the fly and they've made excellent action films out of that. Arguably one of my favorite films this year. But like, you can tell that the director and the actor care about what they're making, and so they're thinking it out, like even on the go. Not like chalega types, like, and that's what I hate about this kind of cinema.
I don't know if it's chalega. It's literally just like, what can we do around Rajni?
Exactly. And you know what? That's also fine. That's literally Tom Cruise's entire MO, right? Or MI. But my thing is that Tom Cruise says, I want to do the biggest stunts ever. Yeah. And they say, let's do it. But they write a good friggin' story around it. My thing is that Rajnikant
Tom Cruise tries to top himself. Rajni is just hitting the same marks.
Yeah. And he can do better. I mean, like, I know he's old and all that stuff. I get it. But like, leave it in the hands of somebody. You could have put Rajni through so much, which is make him play 4 different roles in one film. Change his hair, makeup, this, that, everything, every shot, make him run. By the way, it was so funny. Nila and Dr. Vaseegaran are running, or Robot is running, but Robot can't run. Rajnikant can't run. He's too old. He does a slow jog. Yeah. And you can tell that Amy Jackson is just running slower, with him, just to look like he's running fast, but he's totally not. Yeah. He's doing a light jog. But this is my point. You're making the man do all of these things at his age. Okay? You're spending a ton of money. Hire a goddamn writer next time when you're hiring the bloody VFX guys from America.
They had 2 writers. They had the original robot writer and the new robot writer.
The 2.0, you mean?
The 2.0 writer. And they consulted each other on like technical stuff and whatnot, apparently.
Man. But so here's my thing, Dinkar. I don't want to contribute my money to this kind of cinema when they don't do, or they don't make an effort. This is why I don't go for Salman Khan films, because even though I saw Race 3 at home because of the sheer hilarity of like nonsense that I was watching, and we all just wanted to have a laugh at their expense. I don't want to contribute to this kind of cinema, man. Like, I don't want to give my money for this kind of cinema and just review. I mean, we'll review it, but like, this is the...
In this particular case, we had no choice. This is the biggest science fiction cinema India's ever done.
I get it. I completely understand. And I will go watch the next one, but I'm going to destroy it if it,
No, I'm just saying I feel like we gave this movie a fair assessment. We talked about what we liked about it, and we're talking now about what we don't like about it.
I think this movie is a solid 6 on 10.
It's a 6. Yeah. But we should be able to hold it to a higher standard. I don't expect shit from Salman Khan. He's an idiot. He's an asshole. He's a murderer.
Yeah. It's true.
And you can't expect anything better from him. He's going to make Tiger, what's his name? And then Tiger Zinda Hai, and like 20 movies about Tiger.
By the way, Tiger...
shooting black bucks all he wants.
Ek Tha Tiger, by the way, has a plot. And it's okay as a film.
Never saw it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, seriously, it does have a plot. And which is why it was watchable. But everything else is like just 0 Fs, man. Come on, guys. Everybody in India, all of you can do better. Okay, everyone can do better.
Rajni, especially, he seems like a sensible-ish dude. He can do better. Why are half the dialogues in this movie in Tamil and half in Hindi, and you just ADR both of them without syncing lip movements?
There is no single sync sound.
Why wouldn't you give that much of an F about this movie? Just have actors shoot twice.
I think that's also a production technique for these guys. It's so slick that everything is like crisp, compressed audio everywhere.
It's not just the audio. I'm saying that when Rajni talks, his mouth movements don't match our Hindi dialogue that we watch it in.
Correct.
When people watch it in Tamil Nadu, in Tamil, like your
Akshay
Kumar or Sudhanshu Pandey's dialogues won't match in Tamil. And basically, everyone, the director, Rajni, the producers, all took the call. Who gives a shit? They'll watch it anyway. And made it. You can't give me that much attention to quality control. You shot stuff in 25 FPS and then slowed it down. It looks worse than like a college film at parts. You're telling me you spent millions and millions of dollars?
They can do like higher frame rates. Like, what's the big deal?
Easily. They just didn't. And
is that a tool? Is that the stylization though? That this whole jittery kind of...
No, I don't think so. I literally think they were sitting in the edit and went like, this should be in slow motion. Slow it down. I get why they didn't shoot throughout in high frame rates.
I get it. It's fine.
That is an issue, especially I suppose if you're shooting in like 3D.
Correct.
It's going to look super video-y.
Yeah.
But yeah, why would you take that call then? Why
You
not
can take
like,
off motion blur.
Tom Cruise has a video about it. But at least give this much basic quality control. And there are other bigger issues I have with this. This movie is going to be watched and loved by millions of kids,
Which will prove them
everywhere.
right.
And yet it's weirdly gory and super sexist.
Oh yeah, it's quite gory. I will put that out as the first thing. I did not expect that.
Disgustingly so. There's like blood exploding on the screen. There's dead fetuses. There's like a guy literally gets stuffed with cell phones being shoved into his mouth until he explodes onto the screen in 3D.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, that was pretty. I was not expecting that. It was supposed to be PG-13. This film?
No, it's meant for like.
G?
I mean, I don't know if it's like PG-13 or G or what, but whatever it is, kids shouldn't be watching this, and they will. And they will like take this away as like something that's okay, and it's not. Like literally the first scene of the movie, a door is open and it's Amy Jackson, who is literally like, I mean,
sexist also,
like this college kid type dude just like gives her one proper lechy up and down look and goes like,
and it's all entertained, which was kind of bizarre, man.
No, yeah, it's absolutely not okay. At one point, Rajnikant just like looks at Nila and goes like, she's just like a laptop. And this is the only female character in the movie. By the way, name one other girl.
Yeah, it's true.
Zero.
Yeah. Dot.
So, yeah, you have a social responsibility here. You are Superstar Rajni.
Yeah.
People look at you. People like follow you blindly. Your movie CID versus Rajnikant jokes is now the biggest Facebook page in India.
This is true.
So give a shit, man, and do a little better. Stop making like violent sexist stuff.
Yeah.
And stop.
Or you can make the violent stuff, but then make sure that the rating is fine for that.
Maybe that, but I don't think that's an option either. Kids are going to watch a
he's
Rajni movie either
guy.
way.
Yeah.
So, man, we got to hold this to a high standard.
You know, I just think it's a convention for all these aging stars who just not willing to give up the screen, right? I've often said that Bollywood is quite the mafia. You know, it has 10 actors and actresses who just keep repeating their roles. When we watch American movies, there are like 1,000 good actors. There used to be
3 at one point.
Now that, exactly, the Khans, so to speak, right? Now we have at least 10, 15 guys who we can just say, but that's still 10 people only in a country which has like the second highest population.
And how many of them are like family connections?
Exactly, and that's because Bollywood is a bit of a mafia, right? Like they don't allow more music composers to come in. They don't allow like more artists or like, you know, whatever to be part of it.
It's possible, but those are the exceptions.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, those are exceptions. It's not the rule for sure. And I think this is what happens, right? Like these actors, they become super famous because there's such a minority and people are obviously going to watch their films. Like Shah Rukh Khan is doing another movie now called Zero. Like they release movies every single year and all at the same time, like either Diwali or Eid or whatever. There's nothing new about it. It just becomes like a yearly thing. It's almost like a festival and these actors are big parts of them. And I feel like every year less and less of a faka is being given because they're just all they know that it's going to be a hit or it's going to be watched or they're going to sell the rights. They never lose money. They're going to sell those rights immediately to Amazon or to Netflix or whatever, and they get their money back.
They don't do that. Not the Khans at least. But
dude, of course, dude. Salman Khan's all his films. Race 3, man, the one which I saw.
That man doesn't give a fuck. That's true.
But his movies are super hit.
I will say Amir Khan and Shah Rukh Khan might be super misguided.
Dude,
but they're trying.
I don't know if
Shah Rukh Khan's completely misguided. Amir Khan, like I will say this about Thugs of Hindustan, terrible movie, less enjoyable than 2.0, but better intentioned.
Yeah, 100%. I actually agree because I've not seen anything like Thugs of Hindustan. I'll be like, oh cool, Amir Khan is doing something different.
And he's trying.
Right. So I mean, I don't know if that's the thing that differentiates everybody. But my only point is that these guys are resting on their laurels. They need to get up and start making good movies and stop being in them also, man. Like we need a break from. Like I don't want to watch these movies anymore. And then when people say, oh, like I remember when we put up our interview with Harshvardhan for Bhavesh Joshi and stuff. And a big part of why we love that movie is for exactly the reasons that we've just mentioned, right? It's different, it's new actors, it's new face, it's everything that is fresh about like the Indian film industry. I wanted to say Bollywood. But then when we said, hey man, are these guys like the only people who... And then we got like a tirade of comments saying like, and by that I mean like 3, where people were like, you guys don't know anything, man. You guys don't watch really good films. I'm just like, we try and watch as many films as like, you've seen Andhadhun, there's one Tumbar every year. That's about it, man. Like, what? Tell me some other films. Otherwise, tell me, and let's watch those only. And my point is like, why aren't those films as popular, or why aren't they getting more?
I don't know. Are we stepping out of our milieu here and talking about Bollywood in general, because I will say Bollywood is improving vastly.
It is. No, I agree. But it's not even
four
close.
of the best movies I've seen like in the last 2 months. Andhadhun, completely different, completely fresh.
Yeah, but
new
tell me,
actor. Badhai Ho, which is like currently like one of our biggest movies of like a mid-sized budget.
Yeah.
Really good. Tumbad I haven't seen, but apparently really good. Like Sui Dhaga is a movie, like a proper Bollywood movie. Like it's a potboilery thing, not potboilery, like it's a masala-ish movie. It's like the songs and everything.
Right.
But it's basically about a guy and his wife who start a sewing company.
Right.
Great, unique story, but done in the classic Bollywood style. So there is stuff happening.
I agree that things are happening. I'm just talking about it in terms of the scale of what people watch in this country.
These are popular movies. So I'm saying the bigger guys, it'll like die out. Like Thugs of Hindustan is a disaster.
I want these movies. I want there to be like a huge kind of change, at least in the faces.
It won't
and
happen
everything
overnight,
that we see.
but I feel like it's already in progress.
Okay, cool.
It's like maybe like it's in phase 1.
And you know what? Like these big movie stars, they have such a good opportunity, on hand to kind of support these films and make sure that the next generation of films doesn't have to be like their films, which is just like fucking nonsense, man. Like they can do like some interesting shit or like be the usher to somebody's Justin Bieber. I can't believe I'm saying that, but really that's what I mean. Like mentor some of these films and do something.
I believe they're doing it by producing more.
Are they producing more? Is Shah Rukh Khan doing anything?
So like Karan Johar, for example, produces a lot of...
He produced this film.
Which one?
2.0.
Correct. He's part of 2.0 as well. But like he also produces like some fairly out there like experimental stuff. I mean, for a Karan Johar movie. Right. Shah Rukh Khan as well. Like he tried like a Dear Zindagi, for example. Part of the reason he's gone back to this like whole zero thing of like being a big actiony, not actiony like, but basically a larger than life thing is because he was like, I tried to do like a mature older person role in Dear Zindagi and people hated it.
Because Dear Zindagi was a crap film is what I hear.
Yeah, it was okay. It was well intentioned, nicely directed, but not the best movie.
I don't know.
But basically, he was like, "Well, okay,
I heard
fine."
Terrible things. I was on the on our podcast on IVM, Marbles Lost and Found, and they were talking about mental health and awareness. So that's what the podcast
there's
is about.
Several issues.
And there was
with
so
it.
many issues with it.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't trash abroad. I just saw Bohemian Rhapsody, which is absolutely one of the worst things I've seen of late, and it was just absolute trash because it's just inaccurate and it's just wrong. And like similarly, there's a high cost to these things when you are the size of superstar that people like Shah Rukh Khan are, man. Like that's my problem with it.
So we can't exactly fix that also, right? Like Shah Rukh Khan, in his mind, he's like, well, I tried to do like the chiller movie and it didn't work, so I've given up on it. And now he's like, I'm back to making a zero type stuff.
Did you see Bad Man by any chance?
No.
Akshay Kumar's film?
No.
It's alright, man.
I'm sure
saw
it was.
it on
I've seen like a bunch of his newer social era stuff.
Super on the nose, very
of course, but it's fine.
But okay, at least there is something there, like
he's going to something.
Akshay Kumar is like taking care of the birds.
Whatever, man. I think like these, like literally all of these guys are sticking to formula at this point. Akshay Kumar is like, I'll do social movies. Amir Khan is like, I'll do perfectionist movies or whatever that is.
Sure. Whoever said Amir Khan is a perfectionist really needs to reevaluate
should watch
that.
Dekho 2000 Zamana Aa Gaya.
Yeah.
Like Shah Rukh Khan does his like larger than life stuff. Amir Khan does like whatever he does.
Yeah.
They're all in their own patterns. But the newer guys are trying stuff.
I hope so, man.
They seem to be. I'm willing to give it. Like Ayushmann Khurrana.
Ayushmann's
like,
cool.
As much as we might find him annoying, like a Ranveer Singh or Ranbir Kapoor, trying stuff, dude.
Yeah, he's cool. I dig that. Ranveer Singh. Well, we'll have to wait for Gully Boy.
Trying stuff like Ranbir Kapoor is like,
cool. I think
at this point, a legit, really, really good actor.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, actor.
Sanju, terrible movie. Again, like...
I couldn't even watch the first 15 minutes.
It is really bad.
It is
but
so
he's really good in it.
Sure, but I don't know, man. It felt like he was just doing an impression. Like,
yeah, but a great impression, man.
We have really kind of entered a different
We've
sphere.
gotten into a big topic. But yeah, he's doing an impression. But I mean, like, when freaking Jamie Foxx can win an Oscar for it, why can't Ranbir Kapoor? By the way, 2.0 stars. No, doesn't star. 2.0 has the talents of our two currently working Oscar winners in it.
Rasool Pukati
and ARR.
You know what I really liked about this film, by the way? That there's no music, there's no song in it.
There's no songs at all.
Man, please,
and I actually
more
thought
movies.
The background score was pretty legit. It sounded like
absolutely.
It was in the Marvel-y space.
I believe it's done by an Oscar.
Hey, the sound design was done by Russell Pukuti, and at some points it's clearly just throwing in stock sounds like the Willem screams we kept spotting.
There were 3 Willem screams in this,
and that is like that's a sound effect that's been recycled since the 60s at least. I want to say.
I mean, it was recycled. It was like it's a inside joke for all sound editors.
He used 3 of them. Clearly, at some point he was like, "Acha, more screams, cool." Willem scream.mp3. Someone was like, "Sir, only 128 KB was there. Put it. Doesn't matter.
Send it."
And someone was like, "But sir, 320 at least." It's like, you have Oscar or I have Oscar?
Oh God.
All right. Someday we'll come back and maybe discuss Bollywood in general. This is an entertaining thing. But to sum up 2.0, 2 Oscar winners, 1 superstar Rajni, 1 visionary director in Shankar.
And 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. And that's the best we'll give it.
Yep.
Dot.
Advertising is dead. Yep, you heard me right. Advertising is dead. We're all in the content business now. Let's not call it news, TV, radio, etc., etc. It's all content, and we're in the middle of this weirdly exciting phase where all the borders and lines that have been drawn over decades has been swept away by this lovely thing called the internet. We're a show where we don't dwell on just the stuff that is now, but rather the wider stuff about advertising, media, content, and the whole goddamn circus surrounding it. Tune in every Tuesday for our weekly unboxing of the mystery box we used to call advertising. I'm Varun Dugirala, co-founder and content chief at The Glitch, and this is my new podcast, Advertising is Dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to listen to attempt number 15 to record the promo for the podcast Vartalab.
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 All day, all night, Vartalab.
Oh yeah. It's a really nice podcast, guys. It's with me and Naveen, and it has really nice stories.
Yeah, people come tell their stories, ups and downs, fun times. We all cry at the end. It's like a Karan Johar movie, but in 1 hour or less.
Yay.
Yeah, every Monday. Yeah.
It's got you.